Hi everybody, my name is Justin Stoney and I'm the founder of New York Vocal Coaching here in New York City. Welcome to episode 57 of Voice Lessons to the World, the show where we want to help you guys as singers by answering your questions from all over, and I'll give you a chance to ask questions later. But our question for this week comes from Tess Y in Lincoln, Nebraska. And Tess writes, "Dear Justin, I'm 16 and my best friend just got vocal nodes. I'm very scared that this will happen in my voice. What can I do?" Now, Tess, that's a fantastic question, and I thank you for asking it because so many singers are scared of getting vocal nodes. So what we're going to do today is talk about what is a node and also how can you prevent this problem from happening in your voice. So what's a node? A node is short for nodule, and a nodule or node is a kind of bump. And we don't just get one node or one nodule, it's always plural. It's always nodes or nodules. Now, the vocal cords are an ingenious design. They're made up of mucus and cells and even muscle. And what happens is, as the breath passes through the larynx, the vocal cords kind of do a wave-like motion. Now, let's say there was a problem with one of the vocal cords. It kind of got roughed up. It's a bit swollen, irritated. There's a spot on it that's a little puffy. Then, with repeated vocal pushing and force, this spot is going to be pushed into the other vocal cord, and we get a slamming. Eventually, this vocal cord is going to start to thicken as well. Now we have two thickenings, or two nodes. And now we hear a problem. Now the vocal cords don't make such good contact anymore because of these nodes, because of this bump. Really, it's just the vocal cords trying to protect themselves from injury, but it ends up in a vocal problem that we can hear. So, how do we know if we have this problem? I want you guys to know that vocal nodes are not usually a short-term thing. You're allowed to have a bad vocal day. If you were sick, you're going to have some vocal problems a little bit. If you pushed your voice around or yelled one day, you're going to have some vocal problems the next day. But it's not a short-term thing. You don't just push your voice around once and then you have nodes suddenly. No, it's more of a long-term thing. Similarly, you're going to not be able to get rid of the vocal problem. So if you have 1 or 2 bad vocal days, you don't have nodes. But if you had 2, 3 weeks or months of vocal problems, then that's more of an indication that you might have nodes or another problem. So how do we hear that we have nodes or a problem? First of all, you might lose some of your head voice or falsetto if you're a guy. It's really the equivalent, falsetto for men and head voice for women. But up top, if you're lost notes that you once had, that might be an indication of nodes. It could be in any register though. Any notes that you once had that are now suddenly gone and you can't get them back, that is an indication of nodes. There also might be a change to your vocal quality. It used to be clear and strong and light, but now it's low and raspy and groggy. That is the kind of sign too that you have vocal nodes, especially if you can't get rid of it. Another thing is a sort of air leak that we hear when folks have nodes. So I try to make a clean sound, ah, but instead I get a ah, ah. I can't do ah, but ah. I always get that air leak in my singing or in my speaking. That's an indication too that there could be a problem. So let's talk about how to prevent nodes from happening, Tess. One of the biggest things is that we don't want to be pushing volume, right? If you're in loud crowds or there's loud music and you have to speak over these crowds consistently, that's something that can lead to nodes, right? Because you've got maybe a bump or something and you're constantly pushing your voice over that volume. This can cause a problem. Another thing is in your singing voice. If you have to get louder in order to go higher, that's bad technique. And if you keep pushing and keep getting louder and louder as you go up, this is going to be something that can wear out the vocal cords and cause nodes. You also need to be a little bit careful when you are sick or when your voice is swollen. It's not wrong to sing when you're sick, but you have to make sure you're not pushing, That's when there's some extra swelling to the cords, and we know that that's the kind of thing that can lead to nodes. Now, I should also tell you guys that women have more of a problem with nodes than men. Men can get nodes too, but women get nodes more often. Especially young women. Tess, it sounds like you're in high school, and younger women can tend to get nodes more often than anybody else. Your voice is changing a lot at that period of time in your teenage years. So that's really a time to make sure that you're not doing only loud belting. It's not wrong to belt, but you don't want to only be doing that. You also want to watch the volume when in your speaking voice. And then there's also this issue of speaking on the vocal fry all the time. This is something that can also tire out the voice. We know the vocal fry isn't bad, but if you're only talking in the vocal fry all the time, that can also wear out your voice and contribute to nodes. So finally, what if you already have nodes? What if you know that you have a problem with your voice? Well, you could see a vocal doctor. This is not a bad idea, right? Sometimes vocal nodes require surgery, but don't worry. First thing to do is not be afraid, right? So many singers have overcome vocal nodes and gone on to do just fine. So don't be afraid, but go ahead and see a doctor, and they're going to tell you what you can do. An ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor can help you to discover whether or not you have a vocal problem. But usually vocal nodes or other injuries can be overcome with great technique and some vocal rest. So if you can rest your voice and then focus on building a great head voice, great mix, not pushing your voice around, but really focusing on good vocal technique, you will be able to overcome vocal nodes. So, Tess and all, I hope that's been helpful for you guys today as singers. If you've got questions that you'd like to see us answer on the show, you can send an email to questions@voicelessonstotheworld.com. So we just encourage you, don't lose that joy, don't lose that passion. Be good to your voice, treat it well so that you can avoid vocal nodes or other injuries. Don't push it around. Get with a great voice teacher in your area, or if you guys are in the New York City area or you'd like to Skype with one of our staff, you can visit us at www.newyorkvocalcoaching.com. I also encourage you guys to download our free app. It's for iPhone, iPad, and hopefully more in the future. Or you can visit us at www.voicelessonstotheworld.com. I'm Justin Stoney. We'll see you next time.